So, welcome back, guys. We've taken a hiatus, a magic hiatus, for a number of reasons. One of them being, fucking Wizard. What the fuck is it called? Wizards of the Coast? Is that what these guys are called? They shut down Cockatrice. They sent those guys a cease and desist letter. So that messed us up a bit. Didn't get to get a lot of games in. And my freaking mic broke. My headset broke, so we got to use the webcam. Um, I guess you don't need to see my face. We could probably just get. Um, oh, there we go. Get some magic cards in the way. Um, I'm so excited to be back playing Magic online. I almost uh, bit the bullet and bought MTGO account. I'm still thinking about doing it because I got some residual income I can spend. I could probably buy some cards. Um, so let me know what you think about MTGO. If you like the way it plays, if it's much better than Cockatrice, and maybe we can do some decks on there. Anyway, I would like to show you. I disconnect from. I would like to show you this new deck um, that I've been working on. It is Black, Blue, Green Tempo. It's not the greatest deck. I played it to FNM last week, couple weeks, and it's posted okay results, but it's hard to tell with the type of variants, and other decks in the format where you get to play. But we're gonna look at it, um, so you can see what it's all about. So the goal of this deck is basically to build a big Quirion Dryad, or to just attack your opponent with some fast, efficient creatures, and then kind of disrupt their game plan with counter spells and unsummon effects and creature removal, things of that nature. So that's basically what the deck wants to do. So the main parts of the deck are Snapcaster Mage, running 3 because I only have 3. I guess I should run 4. If I was being real, I would probably have to run 4 of them. But I only have 3, so running 3. This is good because he's there's flash shenanigans, and obviously he can add a lot of value to a lot of my spells. The other creature is Quirion Dryad, and he's crazy in a deck like this because all the other spells I have in the deck, every single spell in the main board, will help bump the Dryad up. And this guy's not necessarily a turn 2 play. He's probably like a turn 3 play or turn 4 play, depending on what kind of backup you have to keep him alive. But you can drop him on turn 2 depending on the matchup, and he does get out of hand very fast. So he's in here, and we got 4 of him. And we have 4 Gloom Surgeon. And Gloom Surgeon is just a meta call. I think there's a lot of aggressive decks out there. And Gloom Surgeon is great at brick walling a lot of those plans and helping you, starting your own offensive approach. We have 3 Deathrite Shaman. We have 4 in the 75, but 3 in the main board. And his job is to just, basically build tempo. Deal 2 damage every turn, gain you 2 life. Kind of just, those things add up with a guy like this. And he's also great against Reanimator, obviously. Also good against some control decks. So, he's got his place in there. He's good against Undying. He's good against a bunch of stuff. So he's good. We have 3 Dreg Mangler, and these are our only 3 drop, well, aside from Liliana. And he comes in there as a decent sized body at 3 mana, has haste, and in the late game, if it does drag out, you can scavenge him to get the counters on your Dryad, whatever it may be, put it on a Snapcaster Mage. And the last creature, and the whole reason why I built the deck basically, was to play around Duskmantle Seer. We're only running 3. Basically, he's a 4/4 flyer for 4. But at the beginning of your upkeep, you and your opponent both reveal the top card of the library, and you each take damage equal to the card. Each to your respective card, and then you put the cards in your hand. So he's kind of like a Bob a Dark Confident, except that he's a 4/4 flyer. He costs 4 mana, and your opponent gets the same effect. But remember that your opponent, this only happens during your upkeep. So he kind of adds a strong dimension, because against slower decks, mid-range decks, when they're flipping up that extra card and they flip up a Thragtusk, then they're taking that 5 damage. And sure, yeah, the Thragtusk is going to their hand, but you're really you put him on a much faster clock. And Duskmantle Seer, he does become a threat that needs to be dealt with. Against some decks, he's not great, though. I mean, against red deck wins or maybe Naya Blitz, you're feeding these guys more cards in hand that are low casting costs, so you're probably going to die before them. And in those situations, you probably want to side him out. So he's very, maybe he's better in the sideboard. Maybe he is actually a better card in the sideboard. We don't know, and that's why we play test to figure him out. So those are our creatures. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 creatures in our main board. Lands, we're running 23 lands. You could run less than this, but because of Duskmantle Seer and Dragmangler and Liliana, we want to kind of keep the curve. We at least want to supply the deck with some mana, especially since there is no card draw in the main board. And that's one of the things I don't like about what I've built here. You really can't refuel the hand, and you're really banking on what you've got in play to really disrupt things. So that's a problem. But, we'll see. Planeswalkers, we got 3 Liliana of the Veil. She's very good at disruption, feed Snapcaster Mage. It's good spot removal, or creature removal. She's very effective, and she becomes a threat. And, she has to be dealt with. And this is just buys you time. So I like her in the main. For instance, we have got 14 things, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, 14 instance. We got 3 Simic Charm, and this is a great card because it either gives your guys hexproof, all of them, which is awesome for the end of the turn, gives them +3/+3, which is awesome, great combat mechanic, or it's a boomerang. So all those modes are very, very good. Very good with Quirion Dryad. It's just a strong card. We have 2 Dimir Charm. And what this charm does is counter target sorcery spell, destroy creature with power 2 or less. Destroy, not deal damage, just destroy. So that's pretty awesome. Or look at the top 3 cards of target player's library, put one back, and the rest into that player's graveyard. This is great for comboing with Duskmantle Seer, setting up your opponent's draws. This is good for digging for yourself. And yeah, and it's a good late game counter against sorcery spells. So that works. That's pretty cool. We have 3 Abrupt Decay, which is very good black-green early game removal. Destroy O-rings, destroy small creatures, Flint Hoofboar, Silverblade Paladin, things of that nature. Boros Reckoner. So 3, I don't want to see 4 in the game. I think 3 is just where you want. It's a magic number for this card. And we have 3 Tragic Slips, which hopefully with the amount of ways that we can kill our opponent with Liliana, Abrupt Decay, Dimir Charms, combat tricks. Hopefully that this card we can proc Morbid often, and it can be helpful for our game plan. And also we have 3 Spell Rupture now. Spell Rupture, if you never played the card, it's just a counter spell. Target, the controller plays X, where X is equal to greatest power among creatures you control. And this may not seem like a big deal, and it's probably very situational, but for a deck like this with tempo, I think it's very good. Quirion Dryad will often be 2 or 3, and often just having a power of 2 is enough to deter a lot of people, especially in early game. It's a good card, very good mid-range card. If people start siding in caverns, then you side it out for something else. We'll take a quick look at the sideboard, which I've tuned to my metagame. We have another Deathrite Shaman to help with the graveyard matchups, Reanimator. We have 3 Desecration Demons, and this is just a test. Basically, if the matchup sucks for Duskmantle Seer, it's going to be great for Desecration Demon. Well, that's what I think. I mean, I guess against certain aggressive decks, they can just tap you down, you know what I mean? They can sack a Lingering Souls token or something and tap you down. So Desecration Demon still kind of sucks there, but I think it works fairly well against Naya Blitz and things of that nature. Landing a Desecration Demon is a big deal. We got 2 Memories Journey to help hedge the Reanimator matchup. Just put their creatures, their targets back into the library. This also helps against control. Nephalia Drownyard, help get some of your stuff back into the game. We have Psychic Spiral to help against control. This is basically the win con against their decks. 1 Tribute to Hunger, kind of just an additional removal spell. 2 Negates for a variety of matchups. 2 Duress, mostly for Jund and for control. Get rid of Slaughter Games, things like that in their hand. And 3 Appetite for Brains, which I think I will cite in most matchups. Against decks that run Supreme Verdict, you want this in there. Against decks that run Sphinx's Revelation, well, no, I guess it doesn't work against Sphinx's Revelation, but against Thragtus, you want this against Reanimator. You want it against a bunch of decks. So we'll see. And I mean, this is easily comboable. I mean, and this is a card like, hey, you think they side in Caverns, or you win game 1, game 2 they side in Caverns. You get rid of Spell Rupture. You put Appetite for Brains instead. Even if they cast something, you Simic Charm it, and then do this. So I mean, there's an ability to play around it. So with the next video, we'll go ahead and we'll test it and we'll see what we can do.